Welcome. This short video is to introduce an overview of my book that I've written on the women's wellness revolution. My name is Stephen Holt and I authored this book in 2017. Basically, the book talks about groundbreaking studies that have been made in hormone supplementation, with the switching from hormones of animal origin such as Premarin, which is derived from horses, and bioidentical hormones, which are, for want of better terms, natural hormones. So there is a lot of information about studies that were done at the turn of the millennium. These studies were called the Women's Health Initiative, and in these studies there were findings that were quite troublesome about the use of Premarin and Prempro, which is a combination of estrogens and progestins. So we have really a revolution now where people are moving towards much more use of bioidentical hormones. And bioidentical hormones really imply that the hormones are similar to the natural hormones that the body secretes itself to control sexual and reproductive function. So here we have really the basis of a revolution in terms of switch, in many circumstances, away from hormones of animal extraction such as Premarin, which is obtained from horses' urine, and Prempro, which is Premarin combined with progestins, usually synthetic progestins that are not biosimilar or bioidentical to the hormones that are secreted by the human body under normal circumstances. The book really starts with talking about the normal control of menstruation and then moves into examples of difficulty with menstruation, including things ranging from serious upsets such as severe menopausal symptoms, a very bad menopausal transition, the perimenopause, which is the period around the menopause, and also issues such as menopausal dysfunction causing the onset of various diseases. Now, once the menopause turns, the transition is over, a number of medical conditions may emerge. And one combination of medical problems that this book talks about is the menopause combined with the presence of so-called metabolic syndrome X. Now that sounds very complicated, but it's very simple really. It's four components that comprise syndrome X, and they are obesity, high blood pressure, abnormal blood cholesterol with high triglyceride levels, all linked by underlying resistance to the hormone insulin. And when you have these things together, menopause and metabolic syndrome X, you have compounded risk of a variety of conditions, notably metabolic syndrome, is associated, of course, with cardiovascular disease, but it's also associated with the onset of chronic inflammation, the onset of other conditions such as Alzheimer's disease, and a variety of other disabilities that tend to occur in association with metabolic syndrome X, which make menopause or the postmenopausal period a period of potential upset and disease progression in a number of women. And these matters are covered in the book in some degree of detail. The book goes section by section and describes the approach to the management of the menopause and stresses lifestyle and good nutrition as a very important prevention for problems associated with these changes. There is a lengthy discussion in the book about premenstrual syndrome, which is very common and has variable severity and can on occasion be incapacitating. And the book goes into some of the details as to how to manage this particular problem in life that affects mature women. In addition, there are sections of the book that talk about items such as breast health, items such as other female reproductive disorders, and these form together a fairly distinct overview of the status of women's health and revolutionary approaches to the management of these particular problems. So in conclusion, this book really is an overview of a variety of women's disorders and will form very interesting background reading for people to understand what is happening in modern trends in women's wellness as part of what I describe as the women's wellness revolution. Thank you for listening.